Yuki Tsunoda is facing a tough spell with Red Bull as the Japanese racer is struggling to meet the expectations of his team. Although Red Bull has assured that Tsunoda will remain until the season's end, we know their decisions can shift quickly if his performance doesn't improve. Hadjar has recently earned more points than both Red Bull drivers combined over the last 2 race weekends. This raises the question, will Verstappen have a new teammate by 2025? And if not, how will the upcoming changes in regulations impact Red Bull? Right now, the team is in a challenging situation. Their second driver placed last in the qualifying round in Barcelona and missed out on points, despite Verstappen's penalty and Stroll's absence. Questions are being raised over the second car's capability, as it seems that unless your name is Max Verstappen, getting the car to perform well is a steep challenge. Looking ahead, significant developments could occur, such as the potential replacement of Tsunoda with Hajar. Team principal Christian Horner has remained tight-lipped, remarking that he prefers not to address such speculation. He suggested that it's still early days for Tsunoda, who is in the process of finding his footing in the team. He's reached Q3, earned points, and even managed to score from the pit lane, but he's also faced some setbacks. There's still a lot of ground for him to cover. We're in no rush, we've got time on our side. Our main focus should be on giving Tsunoda the time and support he needs, along with finding a car setup that boosts his confidence. Confidence is key when driving these cars, and that's something he needs to build. He has the speed, he just needs to put all the pieces together. People didn't question Lawson's speed either, but things didn't pan out well when he was in the RB21. Eventually, the team has to confront a crucial question. Does a second seat really matter to us? Excuse my bluntness, but even before Tsunoda's time, drivers struggled to push the boundaries of our cars, be it the RB20 or the RB19. Before anyone besides Perez had a chance to drive the car, many thought the Mexican racer was past his prime. However, now we're seeing quite a show from the Japanese driver. After a disastrous qualifying round in Barcelona, Marco remarked that such performances need scrutiny. He pointed out, on Friday, Tsunoda was pretty close to Max. Ending up in last place is certainly puzzling, even if Yuki isn't using the latest car model. His car's floor and several other components differ from Max's, but those were damaged by Yuki himself at Imola. We're facing challenges with spares, but it seems Yuki isn't improving in qualifying. His performance is underwhelming and we'll need to look into it carefully. Overall, it's a concerning scenario for the Austrian team. To compete in the Constructors' Championship, they need both drivers performing. We've seen Verstappen have off weekends. He's not invincible. Without a strong second driver to make up for any hiccups, slipping to mid-tier status is a real risk. As mentioned earlier, many expect Tsunoda to finish the season, but the fact that Hadjar has outscored both Verstappen and Tsunoda in the last 2 events suggests that Red Bull might consider giving the Frenchman a chance. Right now, Hadjar is outperforming Tsunoda in the Drivers' Championship by a considerable margin, which has surprised many. Hadjar has racked up 21 points, while Tsunoda is trailing with just 10 points. A single podium finish could flip the script, but it's worth noting that even after being downgraded, Lawson earned 4 points with Racing Bulls, while Tsunoda managed to gather only 7 points after being elevated to Red Bull. In Verstappen's view, the criticism aimed at Tsunoda is unwarranted. He pointed out that his teammate is no pushover, saying, "Yuki isn't a pushover, is he? Previously, he often outpaced Lawson, didn't he?" This suggests it's more about the car than the driver. What does it tell us? That's for you to decide. When asked about what Hadjar would need if he were given the Red Bull seat over Tsunoda, Verstappen humorously remarked that not 1, but 10 psychiatrists would be necessary. This quip highlights Tsunoda's own challenges, suggesting he, like Lawson and Perez, struggles with the unpredictable nature of the car. While Tsunoda has shown flashes of brilliance and occasionally matched Max's pace, he hasn't consistently delivered when it counts. A lack of self-confidence and trust in the car tends to breed these inconsistencies. Helmut Marko, despite acknowledging the current security of Tsunoda's seat, warns that this situation may not last. He elaborates on the team's difficulty in earning points with the second car. Marko notes that while the cars often face issues by Friday, significant setup changes can be made by qualifying. Max quickly adapts, but Tsunoda needs more time to build confidence, leaving little room for error when qualifying arrives. In Barcelona, his RB21 didn't quite match the technical standards due to his severe crash in Imola. This raises an interesting question. Is joining Red Bull really a step up? We have our doubts, especially since recent experiences suggest that their two cars are starkly different in stability and performance. Just because Max can squeeze every ounce of potential from the RB21, it doesn't mean that others can easily land it in the top 5. We'd probably prefer to see drivers like Hadjar, Lawson, or even Tsunoda clinching a podium with a racing bull instead of a Red Bull. But if the call comes from Marco and Horner, will Hadjar really have a say? Unlikely, considering Racing Bull is currently a training ground for Red Bull talent. On the flip side, they're looking to carve out more independence in the coming years. As Marco himself called, Hadjar could be the revelation of the year and might be pivotal for this transformation. With Verstappen and the experienced Austrian support for Tsunoda, we might witness a different narrative for him soon. One thing's clear, Red Bull won't be pursuing Carlos Sainz. They had the chance but chose to pass, something the Spanish driver has also mentioned. In the high-speed world of Formula One, especially in the Red Bull camp, there's no room for a driver who could challenge Max Verstappen's supremacy. Carlos Sainz might not pose a massive threat, but compared to Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, or almost any other driver, he'd certainly give Verstappen more to think about. Sainz himself acknowledged, "Everyone familiar with the sport knows why I'm not part of Red Bull and why they steered clear of signing me." However, a driver of Sainz's caliber might just be the key Red Bull needs to shake off its reliance on a single star and really compete for the Constructors' Championship. One thing's certain, if Tsunoda's performance in the RB21 doesn't improve, his time in Formula One could be limited. Outside of Red Bull, possibilities might open up at Aston Martin or perhaps Cadillac, although the chances appear slim for the Japanese racer. Despite Honda's influence with the Silverstone team for the upcoming year, it's not very likely that they'll slot him into one of their cars. Meanwhile, Cadillac seems to be pursuing other options, looking into young talents like Mick Schumacher and Guan Yu Zhou, and considering seasoned drivers like Sergio Perez or Valtteri Bottas for the other spot. Given all these dynamics, do you think Tsunoda's prospects with Red Bull and in Formula One generally might be at risk? If that's the case, where do you believe he might discover his new place to live? Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.